Hello, my friends. Sunday is here, and with it, a new review of another book and another Black Grimoire. So you have voted again, and today I see that we have a clear winner. It is a book that was already competing a few weeks ago, but as there was a lot of inquiries from your side, I have decided to put it into the competition again, and now it won. So you see that the winner for today is the Necromancer, The Path of Descended Masters by Conner Kendall, a young UK occultist. And this is the first time that we are going to review a production of Become a Living God. So I have seen also that on the internet there are not so many reviews, if any, for this book, or maybe just some small quotations about it. So maybe I will be one of the first, I don't know. Well, I have this book for some time, and I have studied it several times, even tried some things that are inside it. So let's go into the review. Well, first of all, if you look at the book, you can acquire it through the Become a Living God website. Now I think the price is $69, and it's for the hardback. And I think it's also available on Amazon now for a little bit lesser amount, I think for $49, but in paperback. Anyway, it's quite pricey book. I could say that I know some books from the Become of Living God, and this one is one of the that contains more information. So for a relatively steep price, you will get around 300 pages of quite standard text. Yeah, it contains also a lot of information and graphics, but not as many. There is more text in it. I rarely start with the discussion how the book about the small negatives of the book, but this is something really catching my eye. I don't know how about you, but the price is relatively steep, $69. Okay, it's for the hardback. What I really don't like is the cover. Like it's so shiny. For the esoteric book, and specifically about the necromantic art, about the dark art, it looks like, I'm very sorry, but it looks like from the cheap fantasy novel. I don't know why we have to go with this type of kitsch form. Maybe I am used into book that contain a lot of, or a little bit more quality materials for the same price. For example, if you buy a book from Hadian Press or Scarlet Imprint for 70 around dollars, or a little bit, maybe $80, you will get hardcover, but not with much more quality way how it is done. So it's a little bit cheap looking. Yeah, but don't judge the cover, or don't judge the book by the cover, it said. So inside of it you will find a lot of information that are maybe in the similar style, but like style like from the previous, but they are in black, and it's pretty okay. I would say that this is pretty okay for the grimoire. Only the cover, it seems very strange to me. And these are, by the way, done by all of the bulk, so maybe if they want to go, or almost all of them, but really, guys, maybe work a little bit on this. It's, yeah, okay. Anyway, if we go into it, Mr. Conner Kendall is trying to create a grimoire, but also a form of his teachings, how to become a necromancer, or someone that works with really dark form of energetic magic, the spirits of the dead, the deities of the dead and underworld, and also slightly also about the vampiric with the vampiric energies. So I have to say that the book is written in very like friendly to be used format. It does not contain as much academics or theory of the magic. No, this is like a working grimoire. You just don't want to think much about these type of things. You just open it, there are spells there, specific spirits, and the whole standard, the system of the practitioner. Might sound a little bit crude, because of course I have reviewed books that contains a lot of academical knowledge. You will practically not find any sources from in the book like for other from other authors. It's written by Mr. Kendall, his way of doing magic. What he writes here is his way of doing it, and it reminds me very much of books that were done maybe in the as printing press was invented, like Big Albert or Black Hen, or these types of grimoires that were like produced mostly for the general public and contained spell workings, for example. So this is nothing new. In these books you will find always like the practices of doing that without thinking much about this theory, as I mentioned. But now we are in the 21st century, of course, and it is written a little bit different form. It is like a way from the start, from how to become working with this, how to initiate into this, let's call magical current. So the first chapter is practically called Foundation, and it's the initiation, mental initiation. You do a ritual for yourself where you will decide to become a necromancer in a very black room. You will try to connect with these spirits or with these energies of the underworld. And first, these initiations contains, for example, bathing in a specific water and so on, ritual bathing, and also the creation of your specific altar that should be used for your necromantic workings and necromantic spells. So here he really like describes the way that should be used. For example, what do we use, what will we need, what kind of incenses are needed or for this working. So frankincense oil, samhain, or graveyard dirt. So he starts to speak about these. And also here we come in the first thing, like these books try to be the darker than it's possible to be. It's like it's a little bit sensationalist for me. Like for the altar, for example, you need he says like you need a school of the human skull, which is practically in many countries illegal to acquire. Also, he speaks about human bones. I understand that from the position of the necromancer, he really wants to create this dark altar. It was used before, and I can't say no. Yes, this is the practice of the necromantic for the necromantic rituals, but it's like really something that it's a dark art. Yeah, there were in necromantic rituals there were used human skulls for divination purposes. But later on, that I would understand, like from the historical perspective, yes. But he really likes write about it, like try to obtain it, which is it's illegal practically. Yes. Other thing is okay. Is that he says that you have to create something like the altar or nexus or energetical center in your altar that should be from carcass of an animal. So this book practically, if animal sacrifices are a taboo for you, this book is containing these type of things. Yeah, he really goes into this, like you have to do it, you have to have animal carcass of, for example, a pigeon that is in specific urn, and then it contains all of these negative energies around. Yes, okay, so that's what the book is about, yeah. Then I would maybe just say that it is, I think, possible to avoid these type of things, but this is my way of doing things. I think that we do not need to work even with or we do not need to do divinations with altars containing animal sacrifices or carcasses. It is a way of our meditation techniques and so on. He also says, of course, that you have to have like graveyard dirt that should be taken from the graveyard. Again, this is illegal action to have it. But okay, maybe you can replace it with the with the dust from a place where there was maybe a battlefield 200 years ago, and you can use it. You don't have to go to the graveyard and steal graveyard dust. Yeah. But again, this is not in the book. This is just my recommendation if you really want to go in this way. He speaks a little bit about the preparation first. You should meditate in these places like graveyard and so on to connect with the dead. And he starts to speak like this is like a road that first he connects with one spirit. After he works with the spirit, he goes to the second spirit, and there are I think 7 of these descended masters. So he starts to work with Santa Muerte. Then he speaks about the specific gods of the underground of the underworld, like Persian Asjai. Then he comes into he speaks about very specific spirits not found in official grimoires like Anwas. Then he speaks about Nergal, working with Ereshkigal, as a Babylonian deity of the underworld, and also later on about working with some demonic entities that are part of the become a living god current. So invocation mostly of these entities like Abaddon and those that are popular in these workings of the demonic gatekeepers by E.A. Cutting. Yes, after you go through all of these specific rituals, each master, each spirit that you work with, you should do some kind of meditation in the book with them, and also like evocation methods of them, some meditation techniques. And after you get this connection, each, according to him, each spirit will give you specific gift, like but it's really done in sensational manner, like you will become like an undead god. You will gain a lot of dark necromantic energy inside you. You will transform your energetical chakras. You will become practically a living god. And let's maybe start. Like Mr. Kendall says that he's devoted to Santa Muerte, and the first chapter is practically about working with Santa Muerte. I am also a little bit aware about working with this famous deity. And I can say yes, but it is just like done in a very practical way, like invoke Santa Muerte, offer her specific offerings that are being offered, but practically nothing about the history, nothing. You are just left with very small description about what does she represent. He speaks only about practically her black aspect, does not speak also about others. So it's very general to speak about Santa Muerte maybe in 20 pages, but okay. There are some offerings, prayers for money included, so okay. And then he continues again about working with specific like necromantic elixirs that you can create for yourself. And it's like it's a mishmash for me. It is. Then after that he continues with the working with Azrael, like an angel of death. he wants to invocate the shade of Saturn. Like, I'm very sorry, but to work with planetary intelligences, this is nothing. Yeah, it is a prayer of, he says, like, invoke a sphere, I invoke sphere of death, but it does not explain the connections, the things behind it, the structures. No name, no mentionings of these other planetary energies, that also Saturn might have a different effect on you if it is being invoked during specific hours. Too complicated for the book probably, but it's just like it's a magic fiction, to be honest. I read through it, and I felt that, okay, there might be like genuine things how to do it. And then again, 10 pages about the Saturnian current, which is a very complex topic. Maybe you can watch my video about planetary Olympian spirits. And then he comes to sigils, that you can work like the sigils of the specific spirits of the dead, or demons of the dead, that are practically very nicely drawn, might be channeled, might be not. They are looking very pretty, so maybe they have been channeled, but you know how it is when you channel something, it's not so nicely done, so it was reworked later by an artist. Other thing is that you don't find any mentionings of these spiritual sigils anywhere else, only in this book. Is it good or is it bad? You can ask this question. Is it really so unique? Might be his own personal sigil that he is using. And this is done in many books of Become a Living God. And I can tell you, friend, that working with the sigils that you don't know nothing about, they are not proven by anything. They are just mentioned here. They might be valid. They might be, you practically open your mind, your energy into something that is only explained here. Yeah, when we work with Grimoire and Verum, we know that these spirits, or we work with Lesser Key of Solomon, we know that other practitioners were testing these sigils, and we know that some sigils and some spirit might be harder to invoke. Here it is all like they are dangerous and go with it. I don't know whether these are vampiric. Some descriptions are like parasitic or vampiric entities. He says, for example, this demon is adept at the manipulation of both the living and the dead to sometimes very frightening degrees. So, well, yes, okay, if it is true, then you are really connecting into something. And there are a few warnings, like this is for advanced practitioners. It is not, because advanced practitioners would know a lot of theory behind it, yeah, or some explanations, astrological hours, workings, warnings, different namings. Here is just the sigil. Go and invoke, yeah. This book is anyway, I think, oriented on people that would like to become necromancers. And these workings with these entities can be very dangerous for those people, because he writes it like a public grimoire from the 17th century for people that just want to, there is a money spell here, yeah? So it's not for the advanced practitioners, it's sensationalist, yeah? And some of these sigils are, I would say, might be very dangerous. Later on, he continues also the workings with, let's skip maybe this chapter about Asjai, but he continues to work with the deities of the underworld. With the Asjai was also a deity of the underworld. And he speaks about, for example, invocation of so-called druj, which are practically demonic, necromantic entities, like demons of her court. and it's like the current of the entropy that he thinks that you should inhale in yourself. And if you will be able to withhold this, he mentioned, he has, I think, practically a lot of knowledge about practices of yoga, meditations, and chakras, but he's not mentioning it here, or these things. He just thinks that you will know, and they are just things like you should pour this energy into you. Well, my friends, if you want to get, I'm sorry, but if you want to get cancer in 2 years by doing this, just by playing with this type of things without serious practice and rituals that or preparations of to inhale into your body something that you just read only about in 3 pages, you are welcome to do so. But this book is not dangerous like dangerous. The practices there are not healthy. He says that yes, that these techniques might somehow make you strong, that you will be not succumb to the viruses or to the illnesses and so on. There are some good moments like invocation of the Ibn Flame, invocations of Azazel, again very simplistic forms of invocations that can work, yeah, but it's a lot of about this imagination, yeah. There is very interesting chapters, so to be not so negative, like creation of the mask. You can wear a mask that is dedicated to specific spirit, and by wearing the mask during the ritual, you get easier way to connect with the spirit. This is very good technique. It's used also in shamanism. I can say, okay, perfect. One good thing. There are a few good things that can be used, but then he continues with the invocations of Abaddon. Again, according to him, this is like an angel of death. This is really disputable. If we speak about the history of the angelology, or whether Abaddon is angel, or is it a place in Kabbalah, or is it a form or is it a place of hell? Not explained very much. Just like subjective, yeah, and I think a little bit outside of general understanding of this. Invocation of Beelzebub, it should be named probably differently, like Beelzebub, because Beelzebub is derogatory term for Beelzebub. It means Lords of the Fly, and it was considered as something like derogatory for him. He was called in different names before. So small details that are not matching. Invocation of him, then evocation of Beelzebub. Like, if it would be so easy, like if you wouldn't have to do several months of preparations, of fastings and things to do this type of things. It is like you just do it, like read it, and everything will happen to you. Meditation of the dark defilement. Then he starts again with this Anuas, these dark masters. Again a mishmash. You do invocation of Beelzebub. The according to the Grimoire, were one of the strongest current of Goetia magic, and then you have to do another, like with Anuas or with others. Like, if you would be not able to earn a lot of gnosis from one, you need to work with all these according to the and in very specific ways, steps as are here. Some poetic names of the rituals, like the rite of the black sun, entering the dark council chamber. Later on, if you connect with all of them, you are able to go into something like astral place, temple, where they will be sitting in a round table and they can give you more secrets, little bit about curses, jars. And then he comes into chapter 10, speaking about jinn. there is a small story how he get there and so on. He met someone in Tunisia, of course, might be very interesting place. Speaks a little bit about several races, tribes of jinn in very general terms, because this is like complex, so complex topic, yeah, and we have so little information translated to Arabic. And then he just starts with from Arabic to English, and then he just starts to do ritual of summoning the jinns of death. My friends, if you will go through all these rituals and if they will be really working, you will end a mess. It will kill you. It is. The more I read about this right now, I'm listening through the books. There is invocation of Shaitani, which is like the one of the deadliest tribes of jinn. That if you are not very okay, you did already like these steps, so you should be like protected. But if you do it, you have so many pacts. Each jinn is like a pact. You previously in these sigils, you invoked some necromantic spirits. You have to offer them something. Then you invoked Azrael, Beelzebub, Asjahi, Druj, the entropic current. Then you work with the jinn. Then he writes a ritual about killing your guardian angel. Yes, good luck with that if you want to end absolutely unbalanced. And it is like dedication of the necromancer, but without. It's like going like a torpedo, yeah, and which is like or unguided missile. You just they are these demons, entities, the worst possible in the world, of the darkest possible as there are, and you handle it in this book, which is only 300 pages long. You connect with this absolute strong entity, and then you ask it for a spell of money. It sounds like this, yeah, to me. Like it is a very popular book. I have read from those people that like read it. They say it's awesome. Yeah, it's read awesome, like occult fiction, guys. Necromantic yoga. Yeah, at the end of the book, probably should be on the beginning. The importance of prana, of course. Yes, this is important thing, but again, it's put on the end of the book and not at the beginning. So if you go step by step, you are already cursed and. Practically have serious illnesses, and at the end he makes few like sigils that are wrong, by the way. Yeah, like Azazel, common mistake. This is a symbol of Zazel, of Saturnian entity, and also of Saturn from Agrippa of Nettesheim, the 3 books of occult philosophy, the second book, common mistake. Grand sigil of Beelzebub, from Grimoire Verum, then angelic sigil of Azrael, and then his own channeled sigils of demons that are not so known or practically created or just found in the books. So this is a book that I consider mostly occult fiction. We can call it differently. It contains a lot of techniques. Some of them are good, like these working with the deific masks, general information about Santa Muerte, general information about jinn, very general. Some small things about how to work with your prana energy, and the rest is combination of how to do some kind of sensational spells, how to do evocations with entities that he describes very in general terms. It's reads like a good novel. If you want to be serious about this, this is not the book that you should follow as your practice. If you want to be a necromancer or working with necromantic spirits, you have to do a lot of invocations before with other spirits, and you have to be in absolutely perfect balance. You have to know how to work with Kabbalah and energies, how to understand the elemental magic, to understand the astrology, when to connect them, when not. You have to have feelings about the Saturnian current. It requires years of study and practice. This is a sensationalist book, so I give it 2 stars of 5. I would give it maybe even less, but okay, there are some hints of true. You might think that this is like a biased review, but I am really starting to be a little bit concerned about the quality of the Become a Living God publications. These books are also dangerous for the new practitioners because there are minimum warnings or only like sensationalist warnings. This is a dark book, you should be prepared. Yeah, but this is not the way how things should be explained. That the book is too short for that. So, friends, sorry. Maybe if you don't like the video, leave the comments. If you like the video, also leave the comments. And as I said, 2 stars of 5.